San Francisco 49ers general manager John Lynch joined CanBR this morning to discuss a bunch of different things, but he also gave some injury updates on some key players for the San Francisco 49ers. And it does sound like there is some good news to take away from this. So let's start right here with Yetur Gross-Matos. Now, YGM has been on IR for multiple weeks now, and it does appear that he is trending towards being activated for this upcoming game against the Seattle Seahawks. John Lynch says it's looking pretty good for Yetur to be activated this week. He has he's practiced as a full participant in both of the practices this week. He practiced last week, and it does seem that he will make his debut. Now, it's not a season debut. He has played this year. It's just, unfortunately, he's been hurt for a large majority of it. And that kind of has been his situation with the 49ers. He was hurt in training camp. He's hurt now, but it does sound like he is getting healthy. So that is good news. And with Nick Bosa in question, it also puts another body on that defensive line front and more depth, which they could absolutely use. Now, John Lynch also provided an update with Nick Bosa. Now, we do know with Nick Bosa, he didn't practice the last 2 days, which is cause for concern typically. And let's see what we get. But it does sound like John Lynch is optimistic that Nick Bosa will be able to go in this one. He does believe that, with the situation with his hip, that they tried to work through it just this past week leading to the Bucks, and they felt like, maybe we don't push Nick through this weeks of practice to let the hip calm down a little bit. But it does sound like he is still trending towards playing in this game coming up against the Seattle Seahawks. So that is good news, because there was a little bit of concern about Nick's availability with him missing 2 practices, but it does sound like it's intentional, and they just, they know it's in pain, and they're just wanting to give him some time. Nick is the kind of guy that does not need to practice, so that is a good sign. Also, a lot of people are waiting for Dre Greenlaw and when he will return. Although John Lynch did say that we are getting closer with Dre Greenlaw, he does anticipate there's still some time. They have yet to open this practice window, and when they open the practice window, they still think it will be a little while before he will be able to go. So we were, when we've done our speculative projections of when he will return, I think the earliest that I thought he could return is maybe Packers Bills, but considering those 2 games are on the road, maybe there's a good opportunity for him to return week 14 against the Bears at home. That would give him essentially almost 3 weeks to continue to get right and get back, and then he would have 5 games remaining of the regular season that he could play in. So, and that would obviously help him get his legs back under him and get prepared for the postseason. Obviously, the 49ers are angling for the postseason. So, cautiously optimistic news for Dre Greenlaw. Again, I think they're being very intentional in not giving any type of expectation of when he will return. I think they don't want to put that pressure on him, which makes sense. You want to allow these guys to come back at their own pace, and when they're fully ready to go. Dre Greenlaw has said that he is not going to play until he is fully 100%. So that makes sense. And, putting a time on him to return could be perceived as, kind of pigeonholing him, because if, let's say, he's not ready by that time, it then becomes a big disappointment and all those different types of things. So we'll have to continue to see, but at minimum, it doesn't sound like Dre has suffered any setbacks in his rehab. It does sound like things are going well. So that is a good sign for the San Francisco 49ers, as they are hopeful that they get their stud linebacker back. So we'll have to see what ultimately happens. But those are the updates from John Lynch. Let me know what you guys think about those in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more.